rising. Its victory is at hand. This night, the land will be stained with the blood of Rohan. March to Helm's Deep, to war!
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the corner. Quick standalone video with some breaking news. I'll be live discussing this as the situation develops over on the Mean Green website, as well as Quartercast, which will both be linked in the description or pinned comment down below. Well, many people thought the dock workers going on strike was going to be the October surprise. I said I didn't believe that this had been brewing up for some amount of time. Well, a similar line of logic could be applied to what just happened. But this, my friends, I believe is your October surprise. The Democrats have their war. Iran has engaged fully with Israel. This will undoubtedly drag the United States into it and potentially other countries. Now with Israel fighting on multiple fronts, whether it be Lebanon, Palestine, and now Iran, almost certainly the United States will be getting more directly involved now, thanks to while this is going on, while these missiles are raining down, Joe Biden's probably on the beach somewhere while Kamala Harris fundraises frantically. And American voters continue to be completely blind to this as a direct reaction, a direct result of poor leadership. This never would have happened under President Trump. There's no doubt about that. And I don't want to waste any more time saying I told you so. Let's get into the news. Please do make sure you leave a like on this video. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below so you actually get notified when a new video comes up. This is a statement from Donald Trump just moments ago. Does Donald Trump on Iranian terror regime's imminent attack on Israel? Now we know it has happened. It was basically, there was some news that there was an imminent attack coming, and then it came. We have footage of it, and my heart goes out to all civilians involved in this. It's just terrible. The American soldiers that will almost certainly be deployed now, even in bigger numbers. The world is on fire and spiraling out of control. We have no leadership, no one running the country. We have a non-existent president in Joe Biden and a completely absent vice president, Kamala Harris, who's too busy fundraising in San Francisco, a city which she and Gavin Newsom totally destroyed, and staging fake photo ops. No one is in charge, and it's not even clear who's more confused, Biden or Kamala. Neither has any idea what's even going on. When I was president, Iran was in total check. They were starved for cash, fully contained, desperate to make a deal. Kamala flooded them with American cash, and ever since, they've been exporting terror all over. There was an attack today in Tel Aviv, by the way, too, and unraveling the Middle East. Under President Trump, we had no war in the Middle East, no war in Europe, and harmony in Asia, no inflation, no Afghanistan catastrophe. Instead, we had peace. Now we have war. The threat of war is raging everywhere, and two incompetents running this country are leading us to the brink of World War III. You wouldn't trust Joe or Kamala to run a lemonade stand, let alone the free world. It's no surprise that Iran desperately wants Kamala Harris to be president because they know as long as she's in power, they can take advantage of America. This is why they have tried to target me. If I was in charge, October 7th never happens. Russia, Ukraine never happens. Afghanistan botched withdrawal never happens. And inflation never happens. If I win, we will have peace in the world again. If Kamala gets 4 more years, the world goes up in smoke. Absolutely, positively agree. There is no doubt whatsoever about it. You see now, crude oil spikes nearly 5% because it says IDF, says Iran. So oils, gasoline prices are going to be skyrocketing. This is going to be a disaster. Iran launched a missile attack on Israel. The Israeli military said President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris met with national security officials at the White House to review the status of U.S. preparations to help Israel defend against itself. So we're going to war. Kamala Harris was not at the White House, almost certainly. That's nuts. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell more than 250 points, spurred by a surge in the cost of crude oil on fears of heightened tensions with petroleum-rich Middle East. Iran launched a missile attack Israel on Thursday, Israeli military said. The announcement by the IDF came hours after the White House staff told the NBC News that the United States had seen indication that Iran was preparing to imminently launch a ballistic missile attack on Israel. on the heels of Israel's ground incursion into South Lebanon. You know, while Israel's fighting with Lebanon, fighting with Palestine, fighting with Hezbollah, fighting with, you know, everybody. Now they've drug us into it. There's no doubt in my mind that the United States will be forced to act now that Iran has escalated. Now, of course, we did have that stupid drone attack a while ago, so there is some chance that this won't escalate, but I doubt it. White House officials warned that any direct attack on Israel by Iran will carry severe consequences for Iran. Well, what does that mean? That means war. That means war. What, are you going to put more economic sanctions on them? No, you mean war. We are actively supporting defensive preparations to defend Israel against this attack, the official said. That official and the Department of Defense official said that Iran was expected to target military and government sites, not civilian locations. Isn't that weird? Like, our government knows exactly where Iran is firing the missiles, seemingly hours before they fire them, and yet somehow they still fire them, and many of them appeared to pierce the Iron Dome and make it past. I don't know. We're going to look at some of the video. To me, it looks like there's some hits. President Joe Biden met Tuesday afternoon with Vice President Kamala Harris and national security officials to discuss the expected attack. They reviewed the status of the U.S. preparation to help Israel defend, go to war, and protect U.S. personnel. White House Senior Deputy Press Secretary Emily Simon said in a post on social media site X, the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem directed all U.S. government employees and their families to shelter in place until further notice. The embassy is in the same notice that reminds U.S. citizens that the continued need for caution and increased personal security awareness as security incidents, including mortar and rocket fire and unmanned aircraft intrusions, often take place without warning. The security environment remains complex and can change quickly depending on the political situation of recent events, the notice said. Iran's suspected planned attack came as the Israeli ground forces crossed into South Lebanon as a part of an attack on Hezbollah, the militant group who is backed by Iran. The number of Israeli troops who have entered Lebanon is in the low hundreds. An Israeli official told NBC News Israel last week took out the Hezbollah chief in a bombing in Beirut. I'm sure that made Hassan Piker very sad. I don't want any part of this. America shouldn't have any part of this. And now we're getting drug into it. Now we're going to be drug into it. If you look at some of these, American sources say between 200 and 300 ballistic missiles have been fired by Iran in two different waves. Millions of Israelis are in bomb shelters. Iran just made a grave mistake. This is the end of Iran. A lot of people saying more than 100 missiles from Iran fired into Israel. This is nuts. Here's, you see the Iron Dome is taking out several of them. You see here, the missile strike. So here you see a missile hitting. These are not being stopped by the Iron Dome. That hit and that hit.
Okay, guys, we got to get off the roof. These are coming down right next to us here.
Those are making impact.
They're coming down. One just about. We got to go in.
I mean, remember 2016 up until 2020 when there weren't any wars? Yeah, I do remember that. That was nice, actually. You see all Israeli civilians are in bomb shelters as rockets from Iran are fired at Israel. Here you have POTUS. This morning, VP and I convened our national security team to discuss Iranian plans to launch an imminent missile attack. We discussed how the U.S. is prepared to help defend against these attacks and protect American personnel in the region. Of course, do not engage or create more wars. Stop the war. F you. Thank you for being on top of it. I mean, Israel is being attacked because you are a weak and pathetic president. It has begun. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. They're not going to do anything about it. What can they do? They're going to send American soldiers to die over there. This is absolutely nuts. Obviously, in Tel Aviv, multiple explosions heard in Tel Aviv camera. Initial reports of impact. So Tel Aviv is being hit. A series of loud explosions heard near Tel Aviv. At least 4 more waves of alerts in central Israel. Multiple explosions across Tel Aviv area. More reports of impacts in this ongoing missile attack. Yeah, direct hits on buildings in North Tel Aviv. So there's actually been direct hits going on in Israel right now. How will the U.S. respond? Well, I think we all know. I think we all know. Now, the people are saying there are no American aircraft carriers close to Israel to help it defend itself against Iranian missiles. That seems unlikely. Here you see the U.S. Embassy has directed all U.S. government employees and their family members in Israel, the West Bank, and Gaza to shelter in place. Yikes. Frank Fritz passed away. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, this is, the 45,000 port workers go on strike. There's war in the Middle East. This is all because of weak leadership. This is because weak leadership. This is absolutely positively because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is away from paying attention, making sure that she's going out and getting millions and millions of dollars from billionaires. Iran attacks missiles, N4 injure many during Tel Aviv. Who knows? This is Iran's anticipated ballistic missile attack against Israel is now underway. So there's nothing that the United States could say to intervene. There's nothing Kamala Harris and Joe Biden said to Iran to dissuade them from sending these missiles. It is my opinion that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden want this war, need this war. This is probably their October surprise. It's absolutely appalling. This is where crappy leadership gets you. And it's absolutely pathetic on every conceivable level. This situation is developing. I am live streaming right now. I will be live streaming in about 5 minutes. So tune in so we can keep you up to date as we keep covered. My heart prayers go out to the innocent civilians on both sides that are being met with this. Joe Biden is weak. He's asleep at the wheel, and the world is crumbling. Make sure you subscribe or follow down below immediately so you get notified the second I have an update for you, and we'll talk to you again real soon.